Yeah, grew into that opening music. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here, it's the blue lip princess herself. It's Melball, and welcome to Chop Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Melball, how you doing?
We're all over the place today. It's a Monday. We're doing Monday things. Glorious chaos.
Yeah.
The blue is pretty fun though. Matches the background a little bit.
Mhm.
Cute. We'll say it's Oilers colors or that I'm matching my Bessie cat.
Yeah,
We'll just go with that.
it's a tribute to our friend Kat.
Yeah, who we pretty much spent the whole weekend with. Saw
Pretty
our
much.
Friday, we saw our Saturday, we had some fun after Saturday and into Sunday.
That sounds wrong, but okay.
We if you follow our socials, you will know we were at a club on Saturday after we watched the show that we were about to review, and then we just decided, hey, we're just gonna keep drinking when we get back to Mel's place and watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too. So
and
that's
then
what we did.
and then rewatch it later in the morning when we all woke up because me and Kat fell asleep throughout it.
I mean, to be fair, we were up until like 5:30 in the morning, so like
It's true. It's
fair,
true.
fair. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Been just hanging out with you all weekend. Had a nice kind of relaxing ish Monday, just because it's kind of recovering from my weekend. Not that it was crazy, but just needed a
We're
day
not
to.
exactly in our 20s anymore. We can't stay up till 5:30 in the morning and be good to go for friggin' 9 the next day like
Yeah,
some of these kids.
doesn't
We
work for me
die.
anymore.
No,
Yeah.
we need a day or two of recovery.
Yeah, so we recovered. We watched some pro wrestling this weekend. We watched this show we're about to talk about, LPW
Mhm,
25. We watched some
mhm,
Stardom. I've started to watch some New Japan from this weekend. So
mhm.
lots of content coming to you this week, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of content
Yes,
coming this week. So yeah,
lots of
um,
stuff to watch.
lots of stuff to watch. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Before we get into it, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our friends at Backbreaker Video, our friends at OLE for all the great support. Our friends at Sunday Night's Main Event for simulcasting us all in our audio form. So if you are listening to Sunday Night's Main Event, please like the channel, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. And if you're watching on either Andre Melball Wrestling Talk or on Backbreaker Video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share us out to all the friends, your friends, family, and the little weird little creatures that live in the ground. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can alert it every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong. I don't think the prairie dogs here have cellular devices, my friend. I don't think they'll be able to watch, but we can always hope.
No, I'm talking about the mole people.
Uh,
Remember,
what?
they're a humanoid they're humanoid mole peoples, and they're use the internet. Come on.
Right. Birds aren't real. Lizard people are. Sasquatch are, and mole people are. Right.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, birds aren't real because birds are drones.
We've got some talking about to do about that with that particular topic.
So we're gonna get into that right
Yeah.
here. We're gonna talk some LPW 25 Edmonton Calling. The name of this show. I don't know the reference because Spencer always references like an album or something. I don't know what the reference is for this one. So sorry.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not hip.
Yeah,
My
me either.
hips are just hipped.
Yeah, I just got those big wide hips. That's all I got.
Okie dokie.
We kicked the. Oh, I didn't. Well, my order is wrong. I have
Well,
the
that's
wrong
way off.
graphic. I have the wrong graphic. I'm bad at my.
Okay. We'll
Oh,
just go with it. Take us into it, man.
we kicked it off with a scramble match.
We did.
I don't have the graphic for obviously. I'm just double checking something. Yeah,
We were discussing the
I just put the wrong
scramble.
graphic in. That's what I did.
We were discussing this match beforehand because when I started coming, it's always been a six-person scramble match until the last one where we had Gigi Ray insert herself and have a seventh person. This one was a weird one because it was only five.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
again, this is the normal. This is what
to
it
start
started
it
out
was
as.
five. to start 5.
Yeah, that's what it originally started as, was a 5-person scramble match. And then it became 6, and then one time you were at a show where it was only 4 people. It was supposed to be 5, it only ended up being 4 because some people didn't make the show.
I'm talking about this match specifically. It was 5, and then at one point it was 6, and then it was 5 again. We'll discuss why. We'll discuss why. Just take it.
Yes. Yeah, right over. That's what I do.
Right over your head. That's why the hair's missing there, right?
I don't have any hair to catch it. That's why.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've been stalling for time here.
I've been trying to help.
I'm making it obvious to all of you because I'm going to fix that. I fixed it. Yeah, because I'm good at my job. No,
2.0. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, scramble match. T.Y. Jackson defending his scramble championship against Eli Surge, the man of every crazy conspiracy out there. Real Talk, Dean Real Talk Richter, Michael, Allen, Richard, Clark, and the Canadian Goose, Kyle Shaw.
Conk.
Yeah, great little spot early on. Eli giving the tinfoil hats to everyone, and then he goes to put one on Dean, but Dean takes it off, crumples it. And then he's trying to hit everybody. He swings at somebody, and then they duck, and then they put their hat on him, and he crumbles that, starts swinging at another. And after he gets through everybody, everybody's yelling like, "Swing at Stu! Swing at Stu!" Because
Stu was wearing one of the hats.
And Stu immediately just took the hat off himself, crumpled up, and threw it away because he's like, "I'm not getting hit."
Opportunity missed.
Yeah. All right. Great little fun little comedy off the hop. This is a great spot where they send everybody to the floor. Goose and Eli get suicide dives onto everybody on the floor. Bigfoot shows up at one point. And he dives off the second turnbuckle onto Dean Richter on the floor. Dives on him, just whomp.
See, I told you, there's a 6th person.
They couldn't win. Come on.
You could have tried.
There's a great spot where Eli surges up top, and Michael Armour Clark drop kicks him off the top to the floor.
That was the same time that Goose and TY were in the corner in front of us, and TY, I believe, heard Piranha's Goose off the top.
Yes, ma'am. You got a beautiful half Nelson cradle face buster by Dean Richter to Michael Armour Clark for two count. So there's a spot where they get out onto the stage. Michael Armour Clark slams Dean Richter on the stage and goes for the push-up. The Bigfoot wants it. I said Bishop. What the hell?
What the fuck?
X-Men's getting in my head. Bigfoot gets involved, and he wants to do the push-ups. So Michael Armour Clark lets Bigfoot do the push-ups, and he gets 10 push-ups on Dean Richter.
Wait, isn't that more than Clark? Doesn't he usually only do 5?
Depends on the show. Sometimes he does 5, sometimes he does 10. It just depends on the. I've seen him do 10. I've seen him do 5. Yeah, it all depends. Goose hitting his goose down, which is the unprettier or the kill switch, to T.Y. Jackson for 2, and spiked him too with that goose down.
Yeah.
Eli with a beautiful suplex, and then follows it up right up with a senton to Dean Richter for 2. Goose gets a Uranagi to TY, and he hits the Canada's pluckiest elbow for 2.
Love that guy.
It was the people's elbow, but I'm calling it Canada's pluckiest elbow there.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, Dean hits his beautiful release German to Goose. Then Michael Armour Clark drop kicks Dean to the apron, and then he hits the Claudioplex or the Cesaroplex back over the ropes into the ring. Oh, love that move. Yeah, beautiful BME by Clark to Goose and Eli Surge, who are standing up, and he had to just pop over. Great, I love that BME that he does. Rolling elbow, and then the KOD by Richter to Michael Armour Clark. And the end of the match comes. Eli Surge hits the elevated flat, which is a lifting flatliner. As TY hits a swanton to Goose, he hits that to Dean. As TY hits a swanton to Goose, but TY gets on the pin first, and he gets the win. So the referee, and then Eli did get, and then Ty wins the match, keeps his title. Eli says he's been here for 3 years. Again, 2021, I think, was his first show overall. And he hasn't gotten any championship yet. And he says, Ty, every time I come here, I will be in this scramble match. I'm coming for your title. And and then there was a great chant that we had during the match and after the match. Unreal Goose. Unreal Goose. Because we were chanting Goose isn't real. And then he said, and he goes, yeah, I'm unreal. And so that became the new thing is Unreal Goose. So
yes. Yes, I love that. That when those little organic things just happened at the show. So good, so nice. I'm sure I've mentioned in videos many times before, in particular with LPW, the scramble matches are my favorite matches to see, and this one was no different. And to have it open too, was just so good. It's weird not having the challenge championship open the show though. I think I would like to see that happening again. I just felt it was a good kind of way to start the show. But I do like having the scramble match kind of to start. Having my favorite off the hop was really great. Although the show entirely was completely solid. There wasn't one match on this card that I didn't like. Usually there's at least something that I'm not a big fan of. Whereas this show overall was just so good, so good. I'm a little torn though with Eli making that proclamation to TY. TY's our champ. Can't take it from him.
Well, the crowd keeps chanting, TY's our champ. TY's our champ. So he's obviously our champ. So
well, I mean, he should have been a champ,
It's true.
While back, but fucking Larry.
Fucking Larry keeps screwing people out of championships. I don't know what it is. But we still love Larry. Don't get me wrong. We love Larry, but he kind of.
It's a term of endearment when we say fucking Larry. It's like I am Groot. Depending on the tone will depend on what it means.
Yeah, well, he stole a championship shot from his boy Ty, and he cost his boy Rich a championship. So
I guess we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, we'll see. We didn't get really any resolution to that tonight, but we'll see going forward in the future. Second match of the evening, it is the Thickness, Reid Matthews versus El Asesino. Asesino immediately runs to the floor, so Thick has to follow him out. They're fighting on the outside. Asesino gets backdropped on the stage. Asesino ends up sending Thickness face first into the turnbuckle, and then attacking him. Then he ends up tossing him back over the top and in. He misses this, I wrote down as a butt drop off the top. And just crashes and burns. Thickness follows with a huge lariat and strikes, kicks to the head. Thickness gets a spear in the corner. Then he gets that facebuster suplex that he does into that running knee to the face, but as Asesino kicks out at 2. Asesino Rick in the eyes on the Blue Thunder bomb attempt, gets a schoolboy for 2. Asesino gets a beautiful pop-up Death Valley driver. I really like that. And he can catch himself because Thickness is a big boy. So if you pop a guy up and catch him, I don't expect the guy to just catch and then go. He caught and he had to the weight of Thickness. Because Thickness is a big boy. He had to steady himself before he could hit that Death Valley driver, and it was impressive to do it that way, especially with a guy the size of the Thickness. Thickness catches Asesino running, hits him with a Blue Thunder bomb for 2. He starts just unloading strikes, hits the knee to the head. Then he finishes up with that down with the Thickness, with that suplex power bomb, and he gets the win.
Yeah. This was just a straight up, really nice, go hard wrestling match for these two guys. Thick has just been on a cannonball roll since the beginning of the year. I mean, just unquestionably dominant in all of his matches. And then with this one, Asesino he's kind of been a bit of a lurker over the last couple of months, hasn't he? When he shows up, he kind of is like that little shoulder devil sitting on Dean Richter's ear telling him to go do this, beat up this person, do that. He's kind of become I wouldn't say a nonchalant bad guy, but he's definitely, up until this moment, was a little bit more kind of standing behind and directing everything. It was nice to see him get in the forefront and try to take on the thickness. It was interesting that they were on the outside so much. That was when we kind of noticed there was a bit of a ricketiness in the ring after the scramble match. So it was nice to see them kind of take it out and about everywhere. Just because Thick is usually really, really good about his spots on the outside there. Yeah, another dominant win for Thickness here. It was great. Really good match.
100%. Again, I thought really good match. And Thickness rebuilding himself after the loss to Allen Angels last month. He's building himself back up. He's gonna rise. I'm gonna try to rise up again.
And it was also very interesting because both these guys are technically heel. It was very interesting to see Thickness work that heely face, where he was still doing heel stuff. When the crowd would start getting behind him, he'd just be like, "Whatever, shut up. I don't care." You care. But yeah, it was a very interesting way to see how they were able to make the heel versus heel work really, really well for the story in this one.
Yeah, I liked it. I think they did a really good job in doing a well done heel versus heel match with a guy who could easily get a crowd behind him in the Thickness. When it's a guy who the crowd hates in El Asesino.
Yeah, we just, for some reason, we just intrinsically hate Asesino.
Well, he's from Saskatchewan. That's why.
I mean, Sean Moore is too, but I would never.
So
Clark is also, and I would never. That means we'd stop getting push-ups.
Well, Sean Moore's from the UK, but that's a little different. And I guess Asesino is Saskatchewan by way of Mexico, but
Yeah.
or wherever the heck he's from down in Latin America. Yeah. I don't want to assume I don't want to assume he's Mexican. He could be Chilean. He could be something else. Yeah, I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's from Latin America, so that's all I know. I already had a problem with this once. I don't need to do it again.
Yes. Let's not linger on it.
We move on. It is a singles match. It is a no DQ singles match. It is one half of the LBW Tag Team Champions, Stephen Crowe, taking on from GCW and all over the indie scene in North America, Allie Katch. So happy we got her here. I missed her last summer when she was here with Top Talent Pro Wrestling. I was at a wedding and you guys didn't go for some reason, but
well, because you're our ride.
Yeah, but Cat could have drove y'all.
Yeah. Nah. Choices were made. They already we said and done. Move on. Let it go,
Yeah.
Elsa.
So we get into like a two-step contest, which Allie Katch obviously wins, even though he's a cowboy. She has a better two-step. I don't know what to tell you. He drops her though, and he starts doing like two-step stomps, but like almost like her and him did two-step stomps, and they're both like almost like Orange Cassidy level like stomps because like just like just to be a jerk, like but she did it too.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
I mean, she did have an obstacle in the way as opposed to him, though.
Yeah. And then when she fought back, she fights back, smacks him on the ass, and then slams him, and then does the two-step stomp to him, and then hits an elbow for two. So I was all right, throw the ass slap in there. They end up fighting to the floor. He slams her face into the chair, off a table. They're slamming each other off of stuff. They fight up behind us. She spits booze in his face. He wipes it off his face.
Surprise.
Yeah, he wipes it off his face and wipes it on my head. And I'm
It
like,
was tremendous.
I'm like, you jackass. Yeah,
Lucky we didn't get pulled over.
Yeah. Well, I cleaned it off. I went to the bathroom and wiped and cleaned my head. I was fine. And I wouldn't have had any alcohol in my system. She slams his head onto the ring bell at the table. They fight up to the merch stand. I don't know what happened there because we couldn't see. They fight back to ringside. Crowe gets up on the apron, hits a PK. Then he meteors her onto the chair. And I didn't see it, but supposedly there was a wardrobe malfunction at this point for Allie Katch. I
I
didn't
mean, it's
see,
bound
so
to
I don't
happen
know.
at some point, right? When you're yeeting yourself around in the crowd.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. They get back to the ring. He's got mounted punches. He brings in a keyboard for a computer, like this, but it was a very, very old one. You think from like the year 2000 kind of keyboard. Like it looked like a really old like keyboard from a really old computer.
Those ones from an Apple computer back in high school.
Yeah, something of that sort. Um, yeah, and a chair gets tossed in. He brings a staple gun with him. He brings his own 8x10 with him. He starts stapling the hell out of her. Then he staples his 8x10 to her chest area.
Mhm.
It's just like, wow, Jesus, why does anybody take a staple gun? Um,
Yeah, that was the part of the match where I was kinda like, I didn't wanna see that." But,
uh,
if
it
we
wasn't the
look
last
at it
staple gun. It wasn't the last
I
staple gun spot
know,
either.
but at this point, though, I mean, I've said it on, with a few of the RCW hardcore matches, this was a match that was palatable enough that it wasn't grotesque.
No,
In that it was like, people being forked and like hit with chains and stuff like that. It wasn't that grotesque. It
no.
was a very palatable and well done hardcore match.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And again, it's not like either person was like bleeding heavily from the
No.
staple gun either. Cause like, yeah, so after he staple gunned her, he put her in the corner, hits that the Monet double knee drop in the corner.
Mm,
Um, then he drops the staple gun, and this is where she gets a hold of a staple gun and literally comes up and staple guns him in the ass. I laughed so hard. Um, after he puts like a chair into the corner,
mhm,
um, he tries to whip her into the corner. She reverses, sending him into the chair. Um, she had hitting a beautiful cannonball in the corner at one point. She puts a door. She gets a door in front of the ring, puts it in the corner. Um, Crowe hits a flying knee off the top. He hits her with the keyboard. Then I think one of you guys made a QWERTY joke about how she'll have the QWERTY on her back, which is the keys on the keyboard. QWERTY. Q
that
W
was not me.
R T Y. Oh, I think it was Cat. Yeah, I think she made a QWERTY. I think she made a QWERTY joke, or somebody made it.
Yeah, I
Somebody around us made a QWERTY joke, and I thought it was hilarious.
I don't have that level of intelligence, I'm sorry.
I don't know who made it, but I laughed so hard when I heard somebody make a QWERTY joke. Maybe it was Nathan. I don't know. There was somebody around us made a QWERTY joke. Um, yeah. Then he hits a face buster onto the belt. It hits a lariat, but only gets a 2 count. Katch reverses good, bad, and ugly. Connects with shots. It hits a Michinoku driver for 2. She hits a high knee and a lariat to the floor. But Crowe hits her with a kendo stick to stop the dive. He brings in another door, steals 2 chairs from fans, literally took them from fans. Not even there was 2 empty chairs that he could have taken that Eli Surge's flag was still sitting on, but he took them from fans, which I laughed. I just laughed at that. And he
Well, he
makes
is still a heel.
and he makes a table out of it. Um, she he goes for the power bomb, but she low blows him, fights him off. She puts him up top. They fight. He slips down and pulls her off the top. Power bombs her through the door, but she kicks out at that like 2.999. Um, he has a tantrum. He's yelling in Fitzy's face. Fitzy made his return. Yay! Fitzy back as
Yes.
a referee. Super happy about that. He makes a pile of stuff, goes for good, the bad, and the ugly onto it, but she fights back. They trade shots on the ropes. She spears him through the door in the corner. She then hits a pile driver onto the pile of stuff, and she
Mhm.
gets the win. Again, great
Yes.
match. Great match.
Mhm, mhm. I don't know what else I can add to that. I kinda jumped in where I kinda could remember
Mhm.
certain things. But yeah, as I said, this was a great hardcore match because hardcore and death matches, they're not my favorite. Even no disqualifications can get into that. Well, for some people, like John Moxley, you get into that no DQ thing, and that's just layman's terms for a death match for them. That was
Mhm.
not the case with this one. I've been really enjoying the hardcore matches that I've been seeing here. Just because, and when I say here, I mean Alberta,
Mhm.
just because, like I said, they're not so grotesque that you can't watch them, that you have to turn away. But they're also not so childish, I'll say, that adults wouldn't enjoy them, because a lot of these shows are family based and do have young children there. So you don't want like people like crimson masking things, but you do want to see that certain level where kids sort of cringe. And I think that this match perfectly did that and introduced, for me, I hadn't actually seen a full match of Allie Katch. I've seen a lot of her clips like on social media, but this was the first full match that I've seen of her. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's happening, because Andre, tell us what's happening.
So post match, she gets on the mic saying, she picks up the Crowe's LPW tag team title. She pulls it up out of the pot. And says she wants to come back, and she can't think of a better reason to come back than gold. And she's holding up the tag title. She says, "I have a partner." And I go, "Oh my god, is he coming back for LPW?" And yes, it is true, ladies and gentlemen, right here. I'm going to put it in full screen mode here.
Yeah.
Next, at LPW 26, the clothesline, May 31st, we're going to have Taryn from accounting and Stephen Crowe, Ride or Die, defending their LPW Tag Team Championships against Effie and Allie Katch, better known as Bussy, baby. Let's go. I am so excited for this match. Yes, I finally get. I've gotten to meet Effie multiple times now. I finally get to meet Allie Katch, and now finally I'm gonna be able to get a picture with both of these two
Yes.
as a tag team. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see this match.
Yes. Yes. Now I have to, like, the heat is on to get those fishnets that Effie wears, because I want to be twinning with
Well,
Effie.
Allie Katch wears those fishnets too. She was wearing them too.
Not the same ones that I wanted from Effie, no. No,
That's
the
true.
ones that she was wearing had, like, a shimmer kind of thing ingrained in it, whereas Effie's had actual diamond little steady daddies all over it. I want the steady daddies.
There we go. But yeah, so next month we're getting Ride or Die versus Bussy for the or Bussy, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying not to be.
That was not what I was thinking that everyone was screaming in that place. I definitely did not think that was a B.
Yeah,
That bottom hump was definitely missing, and I was like, "There are children around, people."
It stands for the boy version, though.
Yeah, that's what it was explained to me after, and I'm like, I am just not hip with the lingo that these kids are using nowadays.
I'll be honest. I learned of this word because of these two.
Hey,
They were the
there we
reason I
go,
learned about this
education.
word. And then and then that word started appearing all over Smosh, and I was like, "Oh!" Then I learned more of what that word meant.
Oh, okay.
When I first heard of this word, I thought it was just a stupid name, and then from them, and then I learned what it actually meant from watching Smosh, because
There you go.
Ian was obsessed with the word for the longest time, and I have to figure it out. So
Who? I don't know who that is.
Ian Hecox from Smosh. He was the guy that owns Smosh, and he's just weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am equally excited. Very,
Yeah.
very excited. Because
Very,
I
very
liked Effie on his own, and I liked Allie on her own. So, hypothetically, a combination of the 2 should be great.
just the best tag team around. I'm gonna get a hold of a couple matches and send them to you. So
Excellent,
I'm gonna
excellent.
try to find ones that aren't gross. So don't worry, because there's some ones where there's a lot of blood.
Oh,
she
yep,
likes
yep.
she likes hardcore matches. So yeah,
I mean, I like Suzu Suzuki in Prominence, so, like, I can't even really be too critical of it, but, like, I don't like seeing people walking around looking like porcupines, that's for sure.
true. So we went to intermission, we came back, and it's time for a tag team match. It is Para Lira versus Se7en. No bow ties tonight for Para Lira. I was a
No,
little bit
no
weird.
Chippendales.
Little disappointed by no bow ties. But and they're taking on Se7en. It's Marz the specialist, and it's Jack tonight.
Mhm.
It is Jack.
For the most part. For the most part.
But yeah, he was the one that he needed to be the it was a weird dynamic, but we were talking about this. Was it Sunday morning when we were talking about this with you, me, and Kat? I'm super impressed with Pride and Jack. The fact that there's literally two distinct people in there, and it's done so well. And I'm not talking in kayfabe anymore. Like, this man does amazing work as both characters.
Because they're very distinctly different characters. You got that childish, let's have fun, let's be good, let's wrestle by the book in Jack. And then you have that narcissistic asshole in Pride. That's just, and he plays them both so differently. Like Pride, even his body language changes when he becomes that dark, kind of menacing character, but he's so excitable all over the place when he's Jack. It's great.
Yeah. So we get into the match, and it's Berat and Jack to start, and Jack keeps pulling his arm away on high fives from Jack.
No, it was Berat.
Yeah, I said Berat and
You said Jack.
Yeah, I said Berat and Jack.
No, you did not. You said Jack and Jack.
Oh, okay.
Berat was pulling his hand away from Jack.
Yeah, Berat's pulling his hand away from Jack on the high five, and on like the third one, he lifts his hand up, and Jack goes to jump for the high five, and Berat just pancake chops the crap out of his chest, slamming him to the mat. I was like, oh,
driller.
Yeah, Marz comes in. He's just unloading strikes. He hits these lariats to Sheik. Se7en clothesline him to the floor. They low bridge Berat over the top. Berat and Para Lira catches Marz on the dive, but then Jack dives onto the group, and just craziness on the outside. Se7en hit this suplex dropkick combo to Sheik, and Jack gets a 2 count. Just craziness throughout. Berat hitting that. I call it the tiebreaker because I know Sean Spears does it. It's where he's got him on the shoulder and he spins him around and brings him down, like face first into the knee.
Oh yeah, on the knee, yeah.
Yeah, because he used to use Ushigoroshi at Ty Dillinger was Ushigoroshi was his finisher for the longest time. Then he switched to that one, but I don't. And that one was called the tiebreaker, but I don't know if that one's called tiebreaker 2.0 or not. But that move where he spin Ty Dillinger just spin off the shoulders and then face into the knee. He did that. Marz stops a double team and hits runs up Sheik, kicking him in the face, kicks off and hits the tornado DDT to Berat. Jack attacks Para Lira, hits a crossbody into the corner on Berat, and he hits this inverted swanton is the best I can call it, because he went up, was looking out to the crowd, and then went for an imploding 450, but rotated around into a senton. So an imploding swanton bomb is what I'm going to call it. If you're going to call it an imploding 450, the way Mustafa Ali used to do it, he did the exact same thing, but into a swanton. Yeah, an imploding swanton. It looked really cool. Yeah, just a lot of crazy good stuff in this match. Jack misses a stomp, and then ducks the running boot, hits that running boot to the face of Berat. Burning hammer toss into the sit up spine buster by Para Lira. I love that when they do that move. But they only get 2. Marz gets Berat up top. He tries spider suplex, but he gets sent into the tree of woe. Berat drops Jack, and Sheik ends up choke slamming Jack in the ring. They're all fighting. Berat goes up. They go for this. They're what they call murder. But Marz is still in the tree of woe, and he sits up into Berat and just grabs him. There's just like the core strength of this man is crazy. Just sits up to Berat, takes him, throws him into Jack and Pride, who are in the camel toss position, and just throws him off.
Jack and Pride?
Or Jack and Sheik, and throws him into them, and it messes it all up. They all crash down. Marz misses a moonsault, but gets Sheik with a German, and then Fosbury flops over the top on a Berat on the floor, and the landing looks super gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, right into the chairs there. We were like, ooh, is Marz okay?
Yeah. Jack ends up dropping Sheik, and then he Pride starts coming out. And Pride shows up and he's getting ready to do some Pride level stuff. And Marz comes in and saying Pride isn't supposed to be here. And this is where Sheik low blows Pride. Marz gets sent to the floor. Para Lira then hit murder onto Pride, or onto Pride or Jack, or whichever one it is. And Para Lira gets the win after hitting murder, which is their Houston Hangover Razor's Edge combo move, and they just call it murder.
I mean, it probably feels like it when you're having it done to you. I have to ask Pride about that.
Well, the first time I ever saw the move done, I thought they murdered a person with it because they literally landed on their head. So,
well, I mean, sounds like an NJPW match.
Yeah, and then
on their head.
Yeah, the post match, Pride and Marz are arguing. Pride shoves Marz, and Thad has to break it all up, and it's just a giant mess. And it's sad to say, but TJ Cannon was the glue that was keeping Se7en together.
It would appear that not even Thaddeus can fix this situation happening. And there was even that moment where Jack was arguing with Pride kind of amongst himself, where he was taking off the turnbuckle, and Jack was like, no, we're not going to do this. Yes, we are. It was a little bit of a two fights kind of going in that ring, one in Jack's head and one actual fight. Yeah, you're right though. TJ Cannon is the glue that's been holding Se7en kind of together. I think he's kind of like almost the one that keeps everybody's kind of egos and heads in check. So to see Jack Pride now without a title, Marz with a title, no TJ Cannon in sight, we're starting to see some cracks form around the foundation of Se7en. Maybe they just need to find a new member.
You never know.
Never know. Trouble in Paradise.
Yep. Oh no, that's Kofi Kingston.
You know what I mean.
Do I?
I sure hope so.
We move on. LPW Challenge Championship. Zoe Sager versus my trainer, Rich King. Really good back and forth early. Again, these two, they move really solidly together. Rich gets a neck breaker, then rolls her through right into a suplex, then hits a slam and a jumping elbow for 2. Zoe with the snapmare and a pretty solid PK right to the back of Rich. She's got some good PKs, man. I'll give her that for sure. Yeah, again, really good back and forth. Zoe working Rich over with the knees and the kicks. She just like stands on his back, just being a little. I was hoping to see the man just like push up out of it. This guy's goddamn strong. I would just love to see him just like push up with him, just like standing on his back. I like that would have been great.
Next time.
She hits a release snap suplex for 2. She's slapping the crap out of him in the corner. Hard strikes to the midsection. She hits a lariat. He dodges another lariat, and they do the double down. They hit each other with the lariats. Rich fighting back with a lariat, the drop kick, the drop toe hold, but Zoe stops the suplex, sending Rich to the apron. But he does cut her off and hits a final beat DDT for 2. Zoe tries to hit Oblivion on the ropes, but Rich stops her, gets a rope-assisted Falcon Arrow for 2. Zoe sunset flips out of the Olympic Slam and then hits a sliding lariat for 2. Zoe hits a stunner. It was a weird. I thought the spot looked really weird, but shit, that stunner. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it kind of like it. It was like set up weird. Like the lead into it didn't look like it was going to be a stunner, but then it happened to be a stunner, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it stunner was like a stunner out of nowhere, where it was really weird. She got a 2 count out of it. Rich stops Z Factor, but she gets him into the corner and hits a haluva kick. Then the running knee, him seated in the corner. She only gets a 2 though. Zoe stops an 867 driver, but then he hits an Olympic. But Rich hits an Olympic Slam for 2. Delayed suplex by Rich into a Falcon Arrow, but again only 2. Zoe hits a stomp to Rich in the corner. She misses a Luva kick. He hits an inverted DDT for 2. He hits the shoulders to the gut in the corner. He carries her out into a Northern Light suplex, rolls through into a cloverleaf, but she does get to the ropes. He goes back out, goes for a final beat DDT again, but she sweeps his legs up from under him while he's on the apron. She drop kicks him off the apron into the crowd. Rich comes back in, but he does stop the Z Factor into a roll up for 2. Then he hits an Olympic Slam for 2. Another Olympic Slam into the 867 driver, but she flips out of the 867 driver and kicks him. He gets a corner lariat. He puts her up top. Zoe slips out after he does like his running jump up. She power bombs him and then jackknife over with the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Zoe Sager retains the LPW Challenge Championship in what was a really, really good match, man.
Yeah. I agree. Very, very solid in-ring match.
Oh yeah.
I have nothing. I have nothing to add to this. Really, at this point, I was just enjoying the show. I was also freaking exhausted because the show was so solid. Just match after match after match was so good, so good. By the time we got to this one and we got to the end of this, I was emotionally and mentally exhausted, which was unfortunate because we still had another match, which ended up being even more emotionally and mentally exhausting
Oh yeah.
than the rest of the show.
Yeah.
She still sounds like a chipmunk when she tries to have her tantrums. It's kind of adorable. Otherwise,
Well,
amazing, solid match.
I think we can talk about the crowd here, though. The crowd got behind Zoe.
Yeah. So is she still a heel or is she a face now? Because the crowd is certainly seeming to try to force her back to face.
Well, at least what I got from Nathan and Peggy on Thursday night, it was her and Thickness versus MRB and Stephen Crowe. And MRB and Crowe were very much the bad guys in that match, and those two played face, Zoe and Thickness. So I don't know, but the crowd was behind her. They really were. Like me and Nathan were booing her the entire time, but that's just because that's what we do. But
it's interesting because, like earlier, we mentioned how Asesino and Thickness had a great heel versus heel match where Thickness was still being cheered by the crowd, but he was still very much acting the heel. Maybe that's something that she can learn from him.
Well, again, she was getting cheered, but she was still working in her heelish ways. So,
for the most part, yes.
Yeah.
But the chipmunk thing still makes me giggle.
Oh, okay. We're gonna move on. Main event. I'm not gonna go through everything in this match because it was a long match.
Oh, so much.
There was some stuff.
Oh.
It is a chain match for the LPW Grand Championship. Their champion, our savior, the best in the world, Michael Richard Blais, taking on Lumberjack Larry Woods. They're like spinning the chain around, and the crowd's chanting "Double Dutch." Like, Nathan and me got the chant started, but we all chanting "Double Dutch, Double Dutch."
Yeah.
Spinning this chain. It was so funny. Then they just start brawling. And this is what this match was. It was a brawl. These two just beating the piss out of each other. They end up Larry gets sent through the ropes, Blais goes over the top. The chain gets wrapped around the top rope. They're brawling on the floor while still like attached to the ring. It was funny. Yeah, the spot where Blais pulled the chain, pulling Larry into the apron, and just like sucked him in, and he ended up smashing his ribs into the apron. Bunch of brawling. They're fighting. They get back in the ring. Larry ends up doing like the Mick Foley crash onto Blais on the ropes, and they go over the top, falling onto the stage, brawling on the stage. They go into the crowd and brawl. Blais uses a sign and tries to paper cut across the part,
I know.
into the corners of his mouth. It was just gross. Yeah, dude, it was gross. Blais like fish hooking and like like kneading into the face of Larry while he's fish hooking the face. It was like,
I mean, technically, that was a chiropractic thing for TMJ, so maybe he was just helping him with his TMJ.
maybe it was. Larry ends up hitting a Death Valley driver to Blais over the top rope into the ring, and then hits the Eddie Guerrero senton. Again, they're fight. They get back in. They keep brawling. Blais goes crawling through Larry's legs and then pulls the chain up to crotch Larry with the chain. They're just brawling. Blais gets a beer can and hits Larry with it, kind of reminiscent of Blais getting the beer can and hitting Rich with it from Larry.
Mhm.
He's Blais starts whipping him with a chain. He puts the chain in his mouth, pulling back on it, like with the chain in his mouth. He's whipping him
Mhm.
with he whips the bat arm with the chain, wraps it around, like pulling on it and like trying to do more damage to the arm, stomps on it. He ties him up in like prayer positions, and like he's got his arms like tied together, like in front of him in like a prayer position. He starts beating
Mhm.
on him. Larry fires back though, starts attacking Blais, hits him with the forearms tied together, gets it on hit, hits that spinning uppercut. Yeah, Larry starts whipping Blais with the chain. Blais trying to beg off, saying he's sorry, but Larry gets him up, hits that inverted TKO. He goes up, wraps the chain around his leg, hits a leg drop off the second rope, but he can only get two. MRB avoids the Sawmaker, bails out to the stage. Larry unloads on the stage. Crowe comes, or a table comes flying through the curtain, hitting Larry, and
Mhm.
comes out after the table. They're beating on him as a team. They're beating him up. They put him up top. They hit it. Put him in the tree of woe. Crowe hits the tree of woe stomp, but then Blais only gets two and a delayed pin. Ty shows up and he's attacking. They're all fighting. He hits the O face off the top, or the Eclipse for WWE fans, to MRB. Crowe attacks, but Ty hits a super kick, goes up, hits a swanton. MRB hits Ty with the chain with the chain wrap fist. Again, there's a lot to this match.
Mhm.
Ty hits a super kick, goes to the top, it gets crotch, gets put in the tree of woe. Blais hits a stunner on Larry. Then he goes to the top on the other side, hits that coast to coast flipping leg drop to Ty. Um, Rich comes out, and you're thinking he's about to get involved, but he just grabs Ty and drags him to the back, and everybody's like, "The fuck?"
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, "What are you doing?" It was really weird.
Mhm.
MRB and Larry start battling, and like at this point, Crowe is down and out for at this point. But yeah, so MRB and Larry get into a chop battle. MRB whips Larry in the tummy with the chain, like right in that tummy. It's right in that tummy. I wrote tummy. I just want to say it a couple times. And Larry gets out of final consecration, hits kicks and that double up kick that he does. He goes for the Sawmaker, but Crowe low blows him. And this is where the match, I'll admit, lost me for a bit, because this is where
Mhm.
they started tearing apart the ring.
Mhm.
It took a good 10, almost 10 minutes to do this, and it
Mhm.
really like took me out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, and even Crowe had to run to the back and get scissors to start cutting the rope that was tying shit down to get it untied faster, because it was taking forever to just untie it. Um,
Yeah.
Eventually they rip everything off. Um, They get it all exposed. Rich comes back out, starts fighting with Crowe. They fight him and Crowe. Rich and Crowe fight to the back, and so it's just Blais and Larry left with this. Just the mats pulled up, the mats gone, the cushioning's all gone. It's just the wood, and it's getting sketchy as here. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, so they're fighting on all this. Blais is getting a submission with the chain, or with the chain. Then Larry gets a chain around the neck of Blais. He's choking him. Blais gets out of that. Larry hits Larry's Sawmaker's Blais over the top from the stage, landing on the exposed board. It was just crazy. Um, Larry gets a table, gets it in the corner. MRB stops whipping the table, hits kicks. He tries to suplex Larry. And Larry fights back. Blais fights and bites Larry. Um, Yeah, so there, and then Blais choking Larry, like he gets Larry over the top with the chain, and he's like hanging him over the top of the chain around his neck. Like it was just
Mhm.
crazy. Um, he only gets a 2. Blais starts pulling boards out of the ring and creating this giant hole in the ring.
Mhm.
And it was just like, okay. Goes for a final consecration, but Larry slips out, spears Blais through the table in the corner. As they fall, they come back from the table. They both tumble through the holes in the ring. There's Ben and Stu and Fitzy all out there checking on them because like it's just craziness, man.
What did I always say at Top Talent? Watch out for the hole.
So I guess
Rarely is the hole in the middle of the dang ring, but
yeah. Eventually, after a couple minutes, Larry emerges first, pulls Blais out, wraps him up and hits him with the Sawmaker. 1, 2, 3, and Lumberjack Larry is your 2-time LPW Grand Champion.
yes. There was a couple times that MRBO was trying to nom nom on Larry throughout this match, and Kat and I were just sitting there singing, "Don't you put it in your mouth, don't you put it in your mouth," because you don't want to taste that. That don't taste too good. I don't care what
No.
anybody says.
No.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can add to this. I just really enjoyed this match. It was a very emotional match, very hard fought match between these two guys. I really enjoy the story that these guys have put on for this one and everyone involved in the story. Like both of their factions so heavily involved in what was going on with this story. I mean, the story of Larry costing, yoinking essentially TY's opportunity.
Oh my God, he's Jack Perry.
Oh,
That'd be
I
Jack
wouldn't
Perry.
go that far, but okay.
He Jack Perry didn't like Jack Perry. He did what Jack Perry did to Ren Narita is what he did to TY. So
I mean, yeah, can't really argue with that. Okay, he Jack parried TY. He cost Rich his opportunity. I mean, we were joking about it after. How funny would it have been if Rich had gotten in there, tried to give him a protein shake mainly, like just randomly at one point of the match, and it cost Larry the match?
we were.
Tremendous.
That would have been like, yeah,
Be like, that's a big pot painting the kettle right there. It'd be perfect though. It would have made sense to the story.
yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed how they played that also, where Rich came out and then, the crowd got pretty upset when he just took TY and left,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that he was abandoning his boy. We should have known better. Rad's always got each other's backs for the
Yep.
most part.
Yeah.
That ultraviolet one hasn't been around a bit. But otherwise, the other Reds, super solid.
100%.
Yeah, this was a very like this match really did emotionally exhaust me though. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
did, I did come out of it at the same part you did when they were taking too long with the apron. I was kind of like, okay, well, this is my chance to check my phone and see who's texted me at this point. It they did slow down the pace. At the same time, though, thinking about it, it did kind of give us a little bit of a break because up
Mm.
till that point, we were on the edge of our seats, like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? That was, even though it was a little awkward, it was the lull that everybody needed for that massive swell of emotion at the end to be celebrating Larry's win. So even though it was kind of weird, it ended up working out pretty solidly for the overall match and show.
100%.
And what a show. As I
Yeah.
said, this was the most solid show I think I've seen in Alberta in a very long time for quality value because there was something in each and every match that I loved. Usually there's at least one thing. For this, there wasn't. It's great.
Yeah, and then talking about celebrations after the match, the Rads came out. They're all celebrating with Larry, and then his mom shows up. They
Yes.
bring his mom into a ring that was very dangerous to be in because the boards were all shifty, and then
Yeah.
they did a 4-way Rad like huddle jump
The hippity
together.
hop.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, they're gonna kill her.
Well,
Like
they might not
no.
kill her, but they might give her ankle some questionable
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, and there was a great Larry's mom chant here, and it was just a
Yes.
beautiful way to end the show.
So good.
And Larry go to the back with his boys and his mom, and it's just kind of a beautiful way to finish it.
And a nice new belt.
Yep, that brand new title. I love it. Even
Mhm.
though the graphic I'm going to show you in a minute doesn't have that title in it because it's a picture of him after he won the original Grand Championship last fall.
It's
So
true. It's true.
yeah, hopefully they can get that updated soon. But yeah,
Right.
so Spencer came back into the what was left of his ring, and he's saying, "Man, he's gonna he hopes he doesn't have to spend too much money fixing it." But and he does make an announcement that Alan Angels had said at the last show that he was coming back in May
Mhm.
to face off whoever was champion, whether it was Mike Richard Blais or Lumberjack Larry Woods. He was coming for the title. But due to scheduling conflicts, it will not be Alan Angels next month. He will return,
Mhm.
what I have gathered. He will make his return, but just won't be next month. But they have scoured the indie scene for one of the best guys going, and they have brought out a new challenger for Lumberjack Larry Woods, and it makes me so excited. I'm gonna make that bigger so y'all can see it properly.
Yes.
Next month, Lumberjack Larry Woods defending the LPW Grand Championship against New Japan Strong / New Japan. He's been to New Japan
He
wrestler,
has.
and one half of the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Royce Isaacs. Yes.
Yes. Senior Fringe.
Oh,
I hope he brings the fringe.
dude, I'm so excited for this dude.
And, like, I'm sorry to be that person, but the better side of the tag team on that one, I'm not a big Jarrell Nelson fan. Huge Royce Isaacs fan.
Yep.
Oh, so good. It'll
Yeah,
be good.
I'm so excited. So we're getting Bussy and Royce Isaac next month. That is a
Oh my
hell
god.
of a card, man.
Yeah. Holy shit. That's gonna be a great show. Way to go,
Mm-hmm.
LPW. Putting on killer shows.
Killing it, man. Man, May is
Wow.
going to be a crazy good month for wrestling in here in Alberta.
Oh my god, but how exhausting.
On the 8th, we have Dynamite. On the 10th,
Mhm,
we have Top Talent featuring Mustafa Ali and ROH's Queen Amanita. And
mhm.
then on the
12th or
18th,
13th?
no, the 18th. It's the following
18th.
it's
Leo
the following
Rush.
weekend. We got Leo Rush at RCW's anniversary 19th, Sunday the
When's
19th.
the CWE show?
Oh, that's on the 9th. Sorry, I forgot about that because I'm not going to be able to attend that. But that's Savio Vega and Jimmy Jacobs on the 9th. You
Mhm.
have Ali on the 10th. You have Leo Rush on the 19th with RCW. And then on the 31st, you have Royce Isaacs and Bussy. That's a hell of a month for professional wrestling in Alberta.
My birthday came early. That's what it feels like.
Well, your birthday's the 1st, right, of June?
June?
Yeah, the day after we go to LPW 26.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
good.
that's right. That's right.
Yay.
Uh,
Happy
I'm
birthday to me.
I'm super excited, man. I
Me
can't
too.
wait for the next show
Me
for
too.
LPW.
Me too. Oh
Oh yeah.
man, it's been a great year for professional wrestling here because we've been getting solid shows from RCW, solid shows from Top Talent. This is arguably the most solid show I've seen from
All
the
year.
local shows all year.
Hmm.
Holy hot diggity.
Yeah.
This is great. What a
That
time to be a wrestling fan.
yeah. Again, I love independent wrestling, and I love Alberta independent wrestling more than I ever have. I
Mhm.
think right now it's mm, mm, there.
Yes.
We did it. We touched tips. Yay!
Well, at least we weren't trying to do the top and bottom one then. That was difficult.
It was not easy. But we have come to the end of another episode of Chop Talk. You can find me, this guy, at the X, at that Canada guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, at that Canada, Facebook, Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, or on YouTube at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. Excuse me. You can also hear us over at SundayNightsMainEvent.com in audio form. Go to SundayNightsMainEvent.com If you want to support them there, if you want to support them, go to patreon.com/SNMRadio for only $4 American per month. Also want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Twitch, our local establishment on Twitch at twitch.tv/our local establishment, on Instagram and TikTok and all the other socials at either OLE Podcast or at our local establishment. And you can find all the replays of all that stuff over at youtube.com/@our local establishment, where you can find me and Mel doing the Japanese wrestling update every Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or not, depending on the week and when we have it come out. Yep, it just, or not, or do, or not, or do. We don't know. It happens. We get a Japanese wrestling update when we can.
Pretty much. If we're not watching wrestling,
we're up,
which we usually are. Yeah.
And then you can also find me there this coming Wednesday with the Marvel Talks MCU Rebound. We're going to be talking Iron Man Blais, the worst Iron Man movie.
Why is it the worst?
Because of the 3 Iron Man movies, it's the worst.
Was that the one where Mandarin was introduced?
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Continue, sir.
Yeah, and got that coming up, and then on May 15th,
it's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May 15th. You can find me and Oled again on Marvel Talk that Wednesday, talking X-Men 97, the final 3 episodes. Tolerance is Extinctions, Part 1, 2, and 3. So check us out then this Wednesday for Rebound, 15th for the X-Men. Lots and lots of stuff coming there. I'll give one more big shout out to our boy Mike, the ref over at our Backbreaker Video for Sumcasting, all of our stuff. If you're watching on his channel, please subscribe and go check out our channel too. You can find all the content at youtube.com/@Backburger Video. You can find me and Mel. You can find Mike's old wrestling stuff. You can find stuff from Asher Bizarre over there. Lots of great stuff. You can also find him live on twitch.tv/MikeTheRef, watching AEW every Wednesday and Saturday, and then gaming multiple times throughout the rest of the week. And on top of that, you can find all the replays of his gaming content at youtube.com/@Backburger_gaming, where you can find stuff from Mike, from PJC, from Rick Jules, and their freaking guest, Kayla J.
Kayla J. Kayla J. Kayla J. We love Kayla J here.
Yeah, Kayla J. Melball.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find her, as Andre mentioned, on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update, on Fridays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, unless it's not. And then we'll let you know when it's going to be on our socials, so stay tuned for that. You can also find me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase, show all about women's professional wrestling. So stick to our socials to see when we're coming out with our next episode. We're hoping to come out with one this week, so we just keep ending up having crazy stuff happen with wrestling and wrestling opportunities, and we just keep rescheduling. So stay tuned to our socials to see when we are releasing that bad boy. You can also get your tickets for the next Love Wrestling show at lovewrestling.ca. You can also find their links to the Clandestine Society School on lovewrestling.ca. And if you're wanting to watch some of the shows from Love Wrestling, Love Pro Wrestling, if you can't make it to the show, you can watch independentwrestling.tv there. It is how much? $10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears. Congratulations being back on NXT. Is he still there? I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, he's working as a producer now.
Oh. Well, that works too. Yeah. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Just give a quick shout out to rkathletics.ca. I'm down from a tight 5XL to now a loose 4XL, so check him out. He does great work. If you're in the Edmonton area, rkathletics.ca. And he also has online coaching too. So if you're not in the Edmonton area, you can get coaching through him too. So check that out, rkathletics.ca. Had to get my voice out there. I just want to thank everybody for joining us here. If you're listening on Sunday's main event, please like the the episode you're listening to us, give us a 5-star review. If you want to support, go to patreon.com/SNME radio for only $4 American per month. And then don't forget, if you're on the YouTubes, whether it's on Backbreaker Video, whether it's on Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Please share us out to all your friends, family, crazy little weirdos that happen to live outside of your building, whoever, doesn't matter. Please share us out. And don't forget, hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
I'm afraid of the weirdos. We are the weirdos, mister.
Weirdos!
And that being said, I am your Melball. And over there is Andre. We will see you next time.